broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome back to AFTERBUZZ TV. We are the Foster's After Show, and tonight we're going to be talking about the episode, The Silence She Keeps. Let's have a moment of silence for Callie. 1. Got it. Nailed it. Yes. All right. As always, we want to hear from you, so you can tweet at us tonight using the hashtag ABTVF. That stands for AFTERBUZZ TV Fosters. Jillian's going to be checking it all night to let us know what you think. And of course, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, on iTunes. Leave us a comment there. All right, let's hook it up with some intros. I'm Jeffrey Masters, and I tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
I was so kindly introduced already, but again, I'm Jillian Leff. I tweet from @Jillian Leff, and I will be checking the hashtag ABTVF all night. Be sure to tweet us, and we'll give you a shout out.
Yes, and Hannah Prichard, y'all, will be tweeting from @TheHotShotDude. I forgot for a second. I was like, what is my handle?
It's been like how many episodes now, and every time you say your Twitter handle, I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
I finally memorized it now. I think it's been enough time.
Oh.
Good, because clearly I haven't, so.
All right, so tell me what you guys thought about this episode. I thought it was a really good one.
It was really good, and I had so many different emotions. Like, I was up, and I was down, and I was happy, and I was sad, and then I was angry. There were so many things happening.
When were you the happiest then?
The preview for next week's episode.
I think my happiness was also like layered with sadness at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I have been excited for the whole, Callie maybe moving in with Robert thing. Mm-hmm. But then somehow they made me, like, near tears when she's, like, sitting down with Steph. And there was so many different emotions.
Yeah, I mean, she's from, like, 0 people wanting her to now, like, 2 families are, like, fighting over her.
Oh, my gosh.
Big.
Yes, and I've been so one way. And I still am. I'm still stoked to see her go with Robert. But, I mean, listening to Steph talk to, I always just want to call her Rosie, but...
I know.
Listening to her talk to her and hearing how distraught they are about it, man, made me distraught.
Yeah. What do you think, Jillian?
Well, I enjoyed this episode. I was telling Hannah before the show that I made sort of like a fight flowchart because there was a lot of conflict happening and I felt really weird about keeping track of things. So first, Callie was silent, so I get the title.
Oh.
Like, I get it. She really wasn't a part of the conflict. She was just one of the sources of the conflict. But yeah, so much fighting in this episode. I think we've seen a lot of different sides of people that we maybe needed a refresher on.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we were talking before, that this show, more than any other show, like the Fosters in general, has so many storylines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and in like a good way. I'm just thinking about the other shows that I cover, and it's like there's like a beginning and an ending, like per episode.
Not here. It's like arc dip.
Right,
yeah.
There were a million. And every single storyline was keeping me like on my toes and overwhelmed. I was
we
like,
were crying. We were smiling. I was like,
didn't know so many emotions.
Okay, so do you guys think that Callie is going to go and live with Robert?
See, I'm confused
Me too.
because, so I get, obviously she was silent at the end of the episode, so it is up in the air, but then I feel like another problem was going to happen because we saw in the preview to next week that she's back in the bedroom with Mariana.
And she looks in her cozy clothes.
Yeah.
But she's saying things that imply that she is not living there. But she looks in that moment that she's living there. I was so confused.
The only thing that I can think of, especially because Robert does have money and a large house, I'm thinking maybe he's doing some renovating to her bedroom and she's sort of hanging
Dark
tight.
room.
Or yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but it was so confusing to me because I do think that she is going to make this decision. And as we saw with Daphne, now that the cops know what Daphne's about, it's sort of backfiring on Callie.
Right. It makes me, the fact that Daphne was coming out and explaining what had happened and not letting Callie be involved at all made me feel like maybe Callie is going to stay with Steph and Lena, and because they didn't show what she actually wanted to do at the end with the judge and all of that, it makes me feel like she is going to stay with them after they had the sit down on the bed and we're like, we're not going to stop fighting for you. You don't stop fighting for you know what I mean? So, but I don't know, because I still do want her to live with Robert. I feel very conflicted now.
Yeah, I mean, like, either way, it's going to be a good choice for her. So that's, like, a nice thing to remember. But I just kind of was expecting Steph and Lena to stop her. Like, legally, it is Callie's choice, but I think as, like, an authority figure, it's like the parents know best kind of thing. And I think that they really could have, like, asserted that authority, for lack of a better word, over her.
Because I was actually kind of disappointed in the way that they reacted towards the whole situation. Like, I understand that they're very upset and devastated about it, but it actually bothered me a little bit their lack of understanding toward Callie potentially wanting to live with Robert. I felt like I know that they want the best for Callie, but it almost felt slightly a little selfish how much they were like, well, we're upset about it. We really want her. I don't know. And
no, I know what you mean.
There were so many different peppered emotions that I had. I don't know.
It's also like hard because it's not like, oh no, I want a piece of cake, but you cut the cake. Like, it's a child, it's a person, like a human life.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you know, it's her dad.
I know.
And that's the only thing that keeps bringing me back. You know, I obviously want the Fosters to be one big happy family, and I would love for Callie to stay with Jude, but I don't know, if I was in Callie's situation, I mean, a blood relative is a blood relative, and you sort of build the relationship with them. You have a built-in relationship.
And you feel like you have to give it a try to some degree.
At least.
I loved Jude, though, going over there. Like, what? Just a little man right there.
I know. I have to say, too, like, his kitchen time discussion with Jill, who's played by Valerie Dillman. Mm-hmm. I'm her biggest fan.
Yeah, no, you, like, really love Jill.
I love all of Jill's scenes. I think because...
He's not talking about me.
I thought he was at first.
I am. Also, my mom's name is Jill. Callie's mom's name is Jill. We get it. I love her. One, she's a good actor, which is, you know, good, is necessary. She brings so much like heart to these scenes, but on like going off that, this would be such a good character to just like make one-dimensional and like cliched, and you like just like, I don't know, sidestep it.
Absolutely.
And she gives like such good performances, like all of her scenes. Remember like 2 weeks ago talking to Steph about how much they like Callie?
Right. I feel like she's given so many different levels to that character from the very beginning, because like, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they kind of present her in a negative light at the beginning? And now she's evolved into this very supportive character for all of the characters.
Yeah, it wasn't negative, but she was definitely cautious.
Yes.
Because also I think she sees Steph and Lena getting attached to this girl.
Right.
But also I don't want to forget that Steph and Lena never thought that it would be a possibility that they would lose Callie.
Right.
It was maybe like going back to the foster system for like a couple months, but never another family would want them. So I think that they're definitely blindsided.
That's so true.
So we have some fans tweeting us right now.
Oh my word, let's hear it.
A lot of people are wondering where Stephanie is, and just so we know, guys, I just got a text message from her.
Yes.
She will be back next week.
Looking forward to it.
Fingers crossed. She's been working hard. That's why she's not here. And then Lily White, who is at FostersFan_15, she said, I think Callie should stay with the Fosters. This episode left us with so many unanswered questions.
It did.
And then Erin said, I don't think Callie has moved yet. She told Daphne in a sneak peek that the judge won't let her change her mind now.
Oh.
Interesting.
So I did not hear that, but I think that's because we were rushing to get in here to talk to you guys.
I had to use the bathroom, guys. I'm sorry. Let me go. Let my people go. Yeah, that's interesting. The judge. Maybe Steph paid him. They worked together.
That's smart, though, because, I mean, it's such a huge decision for her to make just on a whim and within a couple weeks, because it's only been a couple weeks, hasn't it, since their last meeting or whatnot, when she was, which I thought was crazy when they were going back in, because she was supposed to spend, a week or every couple weeks one day with Robert. And I was like, dang, so that would be like 2 visits and she's already made up her mind. Like, that's quick.
Yeah, especially because it's the opposite of what she was originally thinking.
Exactly. So
That would make the decision easy for her if she could not go back on it.
that's true.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
She'd be stuck.
Oh, man. As always, I was excited to see Rosie O'Donnell.
I know it.
Tell me her character's name again. I forget. Rita.
Right? We all just
Please
wanna
call her
her
Rosie. It's like in the middle of the show, I had to look up who Danny Nucci played because I call him Danny Nucci. It's Mike. For the record, Mike.
Come on.
I didn't ask you guys. I felt embarrassed. So Rita reappeared and she has a new house. Congratulations, Girls United.
It's a cute house, too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, aside from the cracked window and the front door, it's really cute.
It's a fixer-upper.
No, and this is great. And Rita, made a good point. She said that Robert's the landlord now, so he won't be kicking them out.
Right.
But my question to you guys, and I wrote this down in my notes, when she had the interaction with Steph at the house, do you think that Robert and Rita took advantage of Callie's situation to get what she wanted?
Can we just explain that a little further? Are you saying
Okay, so basically,
please.
Steph had come to the house and she said basically that, Callie is put in this place and Rita is exploiting Callie through Robert to get what she wants for Girls United, putting pressure on Callie to have a relationship with Robert because Robert is doing these things for Girls United.
Exactly. And because Robert knows that the best way to Callie is through Girls United. So it's like everybody, which I love Robert and Rita both. Not that I don't love Steph too, obviously, but, and I feel that Rita was very genuine and caught off guard when Steph was saying these things that I don't think so. I feel like Rita's main priority has always been Girls United and helping those girls. And no matter who that funding is coming from, even if it may be helping Robert in the long run with his relationship with Callie, I think that Rita's main priority is funding for the girls as a whole for Girls United.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but don't you think towards the end she was almost agreeing with Steph? Steph walked away angry, and Rita kind of had this look on her face like, oh wow, well maybe that is what this is.
I mean, I don't like the word exploit, but I don't.
That's what Steph used.
Yeah,
Right.
Totally. I mean, I think that's a great question. Just I want to think that wasn't her motive, but if it was her motive, I don't think that she thought it was like a negative thing to like show Callie this side of Robert. I think she sees that none of her, a minority of the girls in her home have a birth father who wants them, and she thinks that's like wonderful. So I think maybe she's trying to shine a light on it if that is her motive.
yeah, it's such a weird thing because I feel like Steph was just so angry when she was saying these things that it was like kind of black or white. And I'm sure that I feel like there's no way that Rita wasn't aware and Robert's not aware of what everybody may be benefiting from the situation. But I'd like to think that even though they're aware of what they may be doing, their intentions were not to use the situation to their advantage.
And I also think that maybe, if the tables were turned a little bit, maybe Steph would have paid her visit to Rita since Rita's been very influential to Callie and hey, can you put in a good word for us? Because I thought that's how it was going. She's like, Callie thinks so highly of you and of Girls United, and you're a very important person to her. And I was waiting for her to just be like, so can you bribe her to stay with us? Because that's how it seemed to me. And then it sort of got angry and blew up, and it's unfortunate because again, Callie is surrounded by so much drama all the time.
Totally.
You just sort of want something
Light.
I don't know. You want the tide to go out on everything for her, and just it's like crazy how everything is a storm.
Yeah,
it really is.
You like photography, go grab your camera, explore San Diego. I'm really interested to see what everybody thinks about this too. So tweet us at ABTVF with the hashtag. I think also it is a very big assumption that they would make thinking that this would convince Callie to move in with Robert Quinn. Yeah. That might be a side effect, but that's not like a shoo-in.
Right, which granted, I understand that Callie's reasons for choosing to live with Robert may not be the best reasons, but none of them know her reasons. You know what I mean? So they're making all of these assumptions as to why she may be doing it, and all of their assumptions are wrong. Granted, her reasons are still not good reasons, but I just want to see everybody support her no matter what her decision is, you know? And even if her reasons are bad or not, they don't know the reasons. I just want to see them all be like, okay, then, you know, if you turn around and you want to come back, then we'll open the doors for you.
Yeah.
Well, she has Jude. Hey, Robert, when Callie can drive, can you buy her a car so she can come visit me? You're gonna need to teach her how to drive first. I was like, oh my God, Hayden. By the way, fans, we are gonna have Hayden on next week's episode, which I'm really excited about. And we'll mention at the end of the show again, but I couldn't wait. I couldn't hold it in any longer.
No, it's good. Do we think? Okay, have they told us what Robert Quinn does for a living? That he has so much money?
He's a lawyer, isn't he?
Is he?
No.
Did I totally make that up?
I think you did.
Why have I thought that this whole time?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe it's something that I missed. I don't know.
I don't know, guys. What is Robert Quinn's occupation again?
I have no idea.
Because
now.
there are
Sherri?
fans that are tweeting along with us right now. Let's see. Callie knows that Robert has so much love for her. Oh no, wait. Callie knows that Robert has so much on her. The House for Girls United and this lawyer.
You think it's blackmail? Who said that?
Hope not.
Emma said that. Hi, Emma.
Emma. That's what it sounds like. I'm just curious if like that's what you're insinuating. Interesting. Okay, so at the end of that episode, Daphne confesses. Mm-hmm. Do we think that this is going to clear the slate for Callie to stay with Steph and Lena because that was her big reason for going? Or is that not going to affect that pressure?
I think it will clear the slate. But then I think she'll still... Now that she's put it out that she wants to live with Robert, I think she's already started to plan that in her mind. So I think that will leave her wondering if there were some genuine reasons for her wanting to live with him aside from just feeling like she needed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully, because I still kind of want that relationship to grow.
She looked happy when she hugged him.
Right?
Like there was a big smile on her face. Jude looked a little sad, which broke my heart, but
Yeah.
she looked I thought she was genuine.
I
She
did
was
too.
like kind of giggly, and we haven't seen her really laugh in a while.
That's
so-
true.
And I felt like when she told Rita, she felt happy about it as well.
Well, Rita was like, you got to do what you got to do.
And
Right?
she told Rita. It wasn't a
Exactly.
secret, you know, that she
Yeah.
kept from her. Yeah, it's interesting.
There's just so many levels with the situation.
It's also like the Princess Diaries formula for movies, you know, where you like meet your real family and they happen to be rich and like, you know, they want to build you a dark room, you know, and buy you a car.
Which
Callie's
just sounds
gonna-
like trouble to me.
I know. Callie's gonna pull up in like a red Ferrari, like top down.
my God, no.
Be like, Jude, hop in. I'm not gonna
No.
stop.
And then
He's
she's-
going to get her a sensible car. A
Yes.
safe and sensible mobile.
And then she's going to go find Wyatt.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, God, now she could actually run away.
Run
Yeah,
very
right?
far. Where are you? Tijuana. That was my Callie impression. Was it good? Okay, I'm curious about the outcome for Daphne because they were saying like 11-month prison time
11 years.
Oh, year. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, honey.
Is she 18 now?
Yeah. She lives on her own.
Oh.
Oh.
But at one point, Callie was going to live alone at 16 with like the emancipation thing.
Well, I think Daphne was older.
I think you're right.
So because I don't understand that, if you're emancipated despite your age, as long as you're 16 above and emancipated, would you go to prison or do you have to be 18 still, even if you're emancipated?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't
We should get a
know.
police officer on the
Somebody
show. We need a lawyer.
We need some
because I'm
advice.
curious too, like sometimes they can make deals to lessen things. I know this because I watch Scandal. And I'm
Wait,
just,
no spoilers. No spoilers.
girl,
Jeff.
I'm in the middle of season 2. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Wow, I almost had a heart attack.
No, they haven't kissed yet. Okay. So I'm just sometimes like when they confess, like can get like a lessened sentence. So I don't know. Like I'm gonna miss Daphne on the show.
Yeah, no way. She's not going, in my mind, she's not going anywhere.
But where's the loophole in law?
Well, honestly,
know.
I don't know because when Daphne was here last week, they
She
haven't started
didn't know.
filming season 3, so she doesn't know if she's back or not, and she won't know until she gets that phone call that there's a script for her.
No.
What
Nobody
a bizarre
knows.
world. That has
So
to...
up in the air. Yeah.
I know. And similar to Daphne's story, April was back tonight.
Yes.
The dancer.
Yes.
Did you guys recognize her?
No.
Okay.
not
I'm
at all.
so glad they gave like the exposition.
It was
Right?
the drunk girl at the party.
Who I had completely forgot about.
Oh, totally. Also, she was a great dancer.
Great.
Yeah. I was like, oh, April, of course. Welcome back, April. I think Haley
Yes.
I was going to call her Hallie. I'm so good with pronunciations of names. Haley is the new Talia. Is she not?
She is kind
Brandon's
of,
first girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like,
Whatever happened
I think
to her?
Haley and Caitlyn are both reincarnated, a reincarnation of Talia.
yes.
Talia was the baddest bee.
You think
At
they
this
needed
school.
two
She
people to
was.
live
She
up
was
to her?
awful.
Yeah.
She apparently, I mean, she probably still goes to the school, but we don't see her because she
Yeah,
doesn't
we
date anybody.
Never see her.
No. And it's like so tragic because there are mean girls like that. I remember those mean girls.
Oh, yeah.
At my school. And when Mariana was talking about how, you know, you have to be mean to them because they're seeking your approval, I was just like, girl, seen it.
Right?
Seen it. I got it completely.
That is such I want to make a gross generalization. That's
Okay.
such like girl talk too, of like how to get the guy, you know? Like, there's that, what is that, like, women's etiquette book from, like, the 60s. So clearly it's very modern, but she says something in there about, like, you need to cancel plans with a guy every, like, 2 to 3 times you make plans with him, like, the date, just to keep him on his toes and keep him coming back.
I do that every time.
Yeah,
so.
but you do it by accident. You don't plan it.
Listen, there's a book called Men Love B Words, and let me tell you right now, I'm a nice girl and I got a boyfriend. So
Well,
you don't
clearly.
need to be a B word to get a boy. You don't.
All right.
Mariana.
Are you calling Hannah not
I was
nice?
gonna say, because clearly I'm a B word.
Oh
so-
no, you're not a B word, please.
It's
I'm just
okay.
saying.
Come at me, boys.
I'm just saying, Mariana, she ended up getting it in the end,
Yeah.
which, as we know, I was really happy to see that. What was April stood up for herself.
Yeah,
Me too,
They
'cause-
called her out.
They were like, I love Mariana, but she was making all these preconceived notions about that girl.
She
Like,
thinks she knows everything,
yeah.
which she
Yeah.
does. She's very smart.
And I love Mariana, but it was good to see it like kind of come around on her, and I was like, good on you, April.
And I think on the whole, she's very mature. So it's nice
Yes.
to see, be like, oh, she still operates like she's in high school.
Right?
'Cause she is. Yeah. I think too with the storming out of class, there was like a camera shot in April, like thinking, and I was like, oh, is this her thinking about, I can trust Mariana?
Exactly. Maybe Mariana is a good one.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah.
we have a tweet from Just Katie H, and to go back to the Callie thing, she said, I think Callie will end up splitting her time between Robert and the Fosters.
I think that would be a good medium.
I do too. Yeah. I think that's more realistic than Callie going to live with Robert, because I don't foresee Robert and Jill and Sophia and some aspects being like the regulars on the show.
Yeah, I feel like there's a
Agreed.
delay with these tweets because we're I'm getting some in right now. That was kind of the last topic that we talked about, but
I think I'm
you know,
getting a lot right now.
yeah, we have some people talking about, you know, how they don't think Daphne's gonna leave the show. They can't just cut her off like that. Hannah at Loving Brally said, I don't think it's blackmail. I think he just wants her to be happy and for her to have a relationship with him.
Okay.
Which I think that's sort of the ultimate.
Yeah.
I wonder too if Rosie Rita gave Daphne like advice for coming clean as like a way to like help herself. You know?
Yeah.
Like do this and it'll be better.
But didn't it sound pretty honest? And
Yeah.
I mean, aside from keeping Callie and Brandon out of it,
Right.
she really threw herself
Yeah, she did.
under the bus.
Well, I think Jude was the one that really, like, Jude's reaction to that hug when Daphne was standing next to him. She looked at him and she was like, "Oh man."
Wait, why am I not remembering
Okay.
this?
In the
Jude sat
the
at the
restaurant.
table. Daphne asked if he wanted a soda. He said,
Oh,
"Mhm."
yes.
And she saw the way that he looked at Robert and Callie hugging. And I don't know, maybe, you know, she misses
That's
her
true.
daughter and maybe she doesn't want, you know, the siblings to get split up, or this is so complicated.
Well,
and
And I feel like Callie like really hit home, kind of gave her a good one when which I thought was actually kind of mean, when she was like, Daphne said, I'm sorry that I called you or whatever. And Callie was like, yeah, but you did.
yeah.
I was like, whoa.
But she did.
She did. I was like, whoa, Callie.
So
That was mean.
at John258 said, if Callie gets adopted to the Fosters, in all caps, the show will be over. That's why she will never be adopted.
They were renewed for the new season.
That's correct,
man.
though. That's actually true.
Man, a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of storming out of the class after Timothy was fired, listen.
No, he wasn't fired. He chose to leave.
Well, he said he was fired when he left the classroom.
This whole storyline just made me all up in arms.
I agree. Say what you say, though. I have a speech prepared.
Good. I figured you did, because when he started to make a speech, you were like, speech. And I felt the same way. I was like, okay, this is what is wrong with the school system. And it bothers me when like people start to take or attack the arts or, you know, any further creative thinking outside of the schools because they're so consumed about testing and numbers and like ratings. Oh my gosh, it drives me absolutely bonkers. And I was so stoked to hear Timothy like stand up for them and give them these different assignments that were like thought-provoking and
I agree with what you said, and I think that he was a good teacher, but taking the sides of Sherri, Saum, and Monty, Lena and Monty, sorry, taking their side, the school literally will not stay open unless he teaches in the curriculum.
It drives me crazy.
I agree, but still, he should have found a way to teach within the guidelines to get their scores up.
Yeah.
Because if not, like, I understand you're a great teacher and you like want to teach them like realistic, like fiction. They were saying, you know, like that's wonderful. Thank you for existing. But if the school's going to shut down, if they're going to cancel art class and gym and like choir after school, like how are you going to live with yourself? Be a team player.
I didn't understand. So if he didn't do their curriculum, then the arts and everything would get shut down?
Because if he didn't teach in the curriculum, their test scores would not go up in English and they would not get grants.
Yeah.
And so in order to pay for like the core classes.
The whole thing just makes me angry.
Yeah,
I feel like I understand that's the way it has to happen, but I hate that that's the way it has to happen in order to keep those programs.
I agree, but like it is a business. Like, you taught everything you wanted to. Great. Now you're homeless because you don't have a job because the school closed.
It's all such.
You know, like I thought that this was like, I don't know, like shame on Timothy, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
I just feel like there's always a way that you can sort of
play
get
both
what
sides.
that you can get what you want but still follow within the guidelines. I mean, listen, dude, you're not completely your own boss. Like you have to.
It's true.
You have to work with others, and when you sort of give your students a backhanded assignment, especially when you know that one of your students just happens to be the vice principal's daughter, it was just like the setup. I was like, of course he did that. Like, of course he did. He's trying to get a rise. That's what, and you know what he did? He did get a rise, and he, you know, inspired the students to sort of stand up for themselves, and Mariana ended up standing up for herself, but that's only because the last time something like this happened, she just stayed quiet. She was like, I am going to be the Joan of Arc of this situation. Follow me. And
they did.
Yes, and they did.
Okay, what do you guys think is coming up for Timothy? Are we going to see him like repenting and changing his ways, or is he kind of just coming gone?
No, I don't think he'll. Sorry, I'm like moving my weight as I'm saying this. I don't think that he'll repent or whatnot or come back and apologize, but I do think that there will be continued conversation about the situation. And I think especially because of Mariana walking out, it involves Lena so much more into the situation that she'll have to have some sort of conversation with Mariana and Timothy and then relay some sort of feeling towards Monty, whatever way that may be.
Wouldn't it be like crazy if he started just, you know, tutoring Anchor Beach kids in English because their scores are still failing? I feel like that's the only way they could bring him back. Like, oh, he comes back and he's a tutor.
I don't think he can come back unless he like makes a massive apology to Monty.
Well, I think kind of what you were saying, where there's a way where they can kind of do both things, you know, like him work into the curriculum in order to keep everything going. I think through conversation with Lena about the situation and Monty, that eventually it will come to that point.
Yeah. Also, people like that make me mad because he had warnings.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, surprise, this can't work out. Like, he's not playing within the rules, and so the game had to end.
Right. I just wonder sometimes if people have to push it all the way till it falls off the ledge to make a big whoop like about it, and then be like, okay, now let's push it all back together and put it back nice and tidy. You know what I mean? To where there's no conformity about the situation, but kind of raising some hairs and then
Totally.
settling.
Yeah. It'll be interesting too if they do get like a new teacher, like a new, like, you know, recurring cast member.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody like to stir up the school a little bit.
Well, when Lena walked in, I was like, oh, do you think they'll have Lena teach?
That's what I was thinking. Like when I was in high school, like the like head of school taught like one English class a year. I wasn't in it though.
Really?
They should just bring Mr. Fitz in.
Oh my gosh,
teach.
do it.
Who is that?
He's from Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, I see.
I would love so much if they started cross casting.
That would be amazing. Maybe in one episode.
I'm afraid like not happening.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure they don't live in the same towns, but you never know.
It seems like a lot of the fans on Twitter want to talk about the fight between Jesus and Brandon.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
First off, by show of hands, watching and here in studio, who thinks that Jesus' arms are massive? Girl got buff, okay?
I don't hate it.
I was gonna say, when he was sweating and jumping rope, I was like, I'm having like inappropriate thoughts and this is bad, so I need to.
Okay.
I tried to not say
That's
anything.
Stephanie
when we were
talking. We got her spirit here. I was like, why are you so buff?
He's jacked, man.
He is jacked. He looked good, and I hated thinking it. I was like, oh, stop.
I mean, it's so realistic. Brothers fighting,
It is.
throwing fists.
I actually liked it. Like, the preview made it look like it was going to be a big thing, and I was like, oh no, this is how brothers are.
Especially when one is on the wrestling team.
Oh, yeah.
And he wasn't even mad at Brandon. He was mad at his mom.
Right?
Which I think, okay, so I get that he's 15 years old and they're looking out for him by not wanting him to look into this Flintwood Academy.
Right.
Whatever. But at the same time, he'll be there on a full scholarship. He won't be there. Like, I mean, obviously he's their responsibility because he's still not 18. But he will be there, and it is sort of one less mouth to feed, one less person to deal with. And I hate to say that, but you know, that's a big part of it. And also, these private schools have great education systems.
Yeah.
And you know, usually when you go to one of these schools, you're looking at sort of the Ivy League colleges. I mean, at least that's what I learned from where I went to school. You know, it was like, I was like, oh yeah, I looked there because I went to this private school. I'm like, well, I went to public school. I think I turned out okay, but I feel like for Jesus, this might be a good opportunity, especially because of the cut in the athletics program that he was talking about.
I think it'd be wonderful for him, and I really like that he acknowledged that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these people go to college.
Yeah, right. Which I didn't. That's why I didn't understand why Steph and Lena weren't into it. I felt like it's such a great opportunity for him.
I think it's like having your child leave home, like leave it for college, but we get 2 more years with you.
Do you almost feel like Steph and Lena are just having a breakdown about everybody leaving?
I think so.
And
I
I
really do. They
I
are
kinda
having
do too.
anxiety over this because they didn't well, they said it in a previous episode. You know, I didn't realize that it was going to happen this fast. I think they did say that, you know, everything just sort of is coming on. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I don't have that sort of attachment, but it must be hard. I mean, it must be hard.
I mean, I don't think my parents would have let me go away to boarding school.
I think my parents would have if the tuition was taken care of.
Yeah. I think depending on what I wanted to go to the boarding school, like why I wanted to go, then maybe they would be into it. But I know my mom would be like, no, baby girl, you staying home. You staying home.
Yeah, but if it was like an amazing theater program,
then
they would have let you go.
V. Pritch would have shooed me right on out that door.
Good luck, break a leg.
I'm going to come visit every weekend.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. I was really happy to see Brandon finally tell somebody about Idlewild.
Yes.
He needs somebody being like, this is a massive opportunity, homegirl. That was my mic impression.
Great. Homeboy. That was great.
Come on, kitty girl. I just please convince him to go. This is so good for him. It's over the summer. He's not missing school. Like, you can tour with the band on spring break.
Well, and I thought it was, sorry, going back kind of to the Jesus thing, because he compared that to Steph and Lena, like him going away for the tour and them being okay with that, but him not being okay with him going, sorry, just had to throw that back in there because I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
With Jesus,
but
well, and speaking of Jesus, like, were you not weirded out how he's jumping rope and his hair was still perfect? Oh my God, how do they do that?
Oh my God, you and this hair
The magic
talk.
of cinema.
I swear, I have never heard someone talk about hair more than Jeff Masters.
And I never realized it before doing this show. I have to tell you though, like 2 episodes ago, one of the girls' bangs were over her face, and in like one shot it was like separated, and the other shot it was together.
Continuity.
It took me out of it, and I will not stand for it. I'm just saying, I don't know. Your hair looks lovely tonight, girls, though, by the way.
Really,
Don't
mine looks a
they?
mess. We don't want to talk about my hair meltdown I had today.
I think I'm obsessed with hair because I'm losing mine. So like, and this time next week, I'll just be bald.
Yeah, he's just gonna have no hair.
Well,
It'll
I
be
had a
fine.
gray hair meltdown in my car before I walked out here, and I'm ashamed to say that, but I'm saying it.
All right, well, we'll have a talk circle after this.
Yes.
But tell me about Brandon and Mike's fight. I thought it was a little bit out of left field, or did you guys feel it coming?
I felt like it was out of left field, but I believed and understood the reason it was happening. But I did feel, in the context of this episode and him like just getting ready to say goodbye, that in the sense it was brought up, it was out of left field. But the actual argument itself, I feel like, was justified.
Okay. I like that Mike said it was like a two-way street, our relationship.
Which is true. But I never realized it before until Brandon did say it in this episode, that really we don't see Mike and Brandon's relationship that much unless he is single, and then he's generally having like breakdowns with Brandon while he's sitting on the couch on the verge of drinking a drink again, you know? And that's, hadn't thought about it before.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that like you need friends to like complain about things too, because you can't like always like overbear and you're like child with stuff. They need to be able to come to you, and they can't do that if they're the ones taking care of you.
And I think that, you know, Brandon talked about being suffocated, but I think that Anna was also suffocated in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. I mean, this little a pregnant woman ran out of the house because she couldn't take Mike.
Which, are we ever going to see her out of a floral pattern is what I would like to know.
She's reformed now. She's wearing floral.
Always floral. I'm like, tiny little floral pattern.
I just like, I don't know. I mean, Mike is obviously dealing with his issues, and he said to Brandon, you know, I'm going to work on all of these things that I have to work on, but he just needs to spend some time with his kid and not, you know, adopt an infant because he thinks that that's going to cure all of his problems, because he'll raise a baby from birth. It's very weird to me. Like, what is he searching for? What is the ultimate? What does he want out of life?
I don't think he knows yet, and I think that's the problem. I think Mike is still kind of a lost soul.
And I think his like age is worrisome, like for him. Like he sees his once counterpart Steph, and she has a wife and 5 children.
Oh, a full family. That fulfills her.
So like comparing yourself to other people that age, like it gets, you know, tricky.
Yeah.
Kind of breaks my heart for him. Like, he frustrates me sometimes, his character does, because I want him to... I feel like I'm frustrated with his character for the same reasons I'm frustrated for his character.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see him fulfilled in something and be doing something that feels purposeful.
Yeah, it's like interesting to watch though.
Yeah,
actually, a lot of the fans really liked their sort of budding relationship. Lily White said, I was expecting a big fight between Mike and Brandon, but I love the father-son moments. And Jonathan said, I like how Mike is trying to get Brandon's trust. Mike really wants a second chance. Which I think all of the above is true.
Also, like, unfortunately, you can say a lot of horrible things to your parents and, like, you know, you move past it because they're your parents.
Truth.
Yeah. I was a little bit surprised by Anna's confession or whose confession? I don't know. It's Mike Steph told Mike about the baby. About Anna wanting to give up the baby to them.
Yes.
I first off, it made me think, wait, are they taking the baby? But I'm glad that
Lena
cleared that up.
Yeah.
The way they phrased it though, it was like Anna is an unfit mother and knows this and is trying to get rid of the baby. Where in my mind, it's like, no, this would be a great family for her. But if not, like, in my mind, she's going to raise this child now.
Well, yeah, and watching her kind of blow up on Mike and storm out, I feel like showed that she would be a good mother or wants to be a good mother and is making the right steps and having the right mindset that it would take to be a good mom. I don't know.
I think she's scared, and it's really sad to see because, you know, she's obviously still battling with her addictions, and, you know, she said kids only make it harder. I've dealt with it once before. So I have to disagree. I do think that she's going to give the baby up just because I feel like she is scared of what she's capable of. Well, she knows what she's capable of. She's scared. And it's heartbreaking. You know, you never want to see that, especially because these women and this family has a relationship with her. It's just gonna stink.
Yeah.
So many frustrating situations.
Yeah. We're in like the motion towards predictions. And I think that with the family losing potentially Jesus and then losing Callie, that's going to leave Mariana, Brandon, and Jude. Am I missing anybody? I think with Brandon then like applying for colleges, it's going to be Mariana and Jude. I think they might take the baby. I think they could change their mind.
Well, I like to think that since, you know, a lot of them are going away and Callie may be living with Robert, that we'll have more time to focus on Callie and Brandon's budding relationship.
Okay.
Why don't we predict?
It's okay. Tell us, do you believe that if Callie moves in with Robert Quinn, that she and Brandon will get back together?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it'll be a
Did
rocky
you want to
road.
think about it another second?
Lord.
I think I got it.
Was everybody at home thinking that too? Were
Yes.
you, Jillian?
You know how I feel about them, Jeffrey. Okay? I don't need to express my feelings to you. I will
You're
express
right.
it to the Twitterverse later. # Bradley forever.
I always said if she moves out, I would be okay with it.
Okay, Jeff. Get on the fan side
Asterisk,
now.
F. Love me. Okay, you hinted at it earlier. Tell us about the moment in the preview, Hannah.
Wait, which moment?
Wait, are we predicting now?
Yes, this is predictions.
Okay.
Which, the sweatpant moment?
The boys.
Oh, the boys.
Unicorn.
Yes. Leaning in. Little more than a pinky, but we don't know yet.
Did Jude say you're the one that kissed me? Did he say kissed?
I thought he said kissed.
Me too.
But then that, so...
What if
So
he said?
then-
What if he like misunderstood it was kicked? He beat him up.
No.
You were the one that kicked me.
But we have always said that we think more happened in the tent than they've told.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be
Yeah.
in context to that.
I guess I'm so confused. I mean, I'm really happy that Hayden's going to be here next week because I'm sure he'll add some additional insight
Yeah.
to whatever happened because I do think that this is going to be another Johnner episode.
Yes.
Although the fans were tweeting me about a line that Brandon said to Callie in the promo for next week that was adorable. I completely missed it.
How did we miss this?
I don't know what
Darn
it was. Listen, fans, if you can tweet me in like the next 30 seconds because we have
Tweet
to
fast.
go, let me know what the line was because that went over my head. We just like ran out of the room.
I know. Well, and I missed who was leaning in because one of them was leaning in, right?
Yeah.
In that little moment.
It looked like they were going to kiss.
It did, but I couldn't. I feel like from
Right.
the look, like outside of my eye, it looked like
The
Hayden
way that
moving
this
in.
show does, like, shows us promos, it could have been like, oh my God, I need to tell you a secret. Come here.
Yeah, no, it's
Everybody
true.
does that stuff so deceivingly in promos.
Oh, I know.
Like, seriously.
Like, I think that everyone's always like being murdered in promos.
They've fooled me so many times. I've been like, I feel so duped. Jude said you're the one that kissed me. Okay. Clarity.
Okay.
Thank you, Emma. I'm just waiting to hear the Bradley line.
While
because,
we're waiting, what do you think's gonna happen?
honestly, like, I can't even predict. I'm just excited to see what happens because I know that we're sort of nearing the end. Not really, but you know, it's like we're going to find out so many things in this next episode, you know, sort of Callie's future, what happens with Jude and Connor, Bradley, you know,
Anna baby.
It's all nutty. I'm excited. I'm probably going to go watch the promo again.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And I mean, we're gearing towards like the last. Oh, Jillian's shocked. Let's hear it.
Brandon said, you know, I would give up Tor and everything for you. How did I miss that?
How did we miss that? That's so much. How did I miss
I can't.
that?
I'm done. Drop
That's
the mic.
drama.
I was on the verge of tears that whole episode, and that would have been my crack moment.
I have nothing else to say.
And on that note, we are AfterBuzz TV. We are literally leaving on that note. You can find me on Twitter, JeffMasters1.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff, on Facebook at Jillian Leff Official, and I also host the How to Get Away with Murder after show on Thursdays at 8:05.
And you all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
All right, guys, we'll give up the tour for you also. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.